What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track back with another video. And this week we are talking Michigan, which I think is going to be a pretty darn good race. Nashville had small flashes, but other than that, was kind of a dud. Um, hopefully, hoping to get a little bit of a change of pace here. It's been, not the best past 2 weeks for us. I mean, I think the last time we lost back-to-back weeks, like at least a card of mine was the Daytona, like the 500, then the week after, and then we just went on an insane run. Still up significant units this year if you've been betting with Johnny on the track. So I appreciate that. And we're just going to keep our head down and keep betting. And I see a lot of guys in the betting community that have had some good weeks the past 2 weeks, and that's awesome. I mean, I think as a community, that's what we want to do. Some of us are going to lose, some of us are going to win. I hope you watch me. I hope you watch some of the other guys to really get the best bets that you think can get you ready for the weekend. And one thing that I love is that well about this show is that I'm able to do it on Tuesday, so I can be that guy that gives you the best early value bets in the week. And also give you some advice of who to steer away from at this point in time, and also guys that we can attack maybe later on, post practice, post qualifying, that sort of thing. So I say all that to say, appreciate you guys sticking with me. Appreciate you guys watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, all the good stuff. We're gonna have a turnaround week. I feel it this week at Michigan. So Michigan, similar setup in terms of banking and configuration as Kansas, but vastly different track. Vastly different track. A lot of drafting at Michigan, more passing, different strategies, a lot of lead changes, multiple lanes. We can go 4 or 5 wide at Michigan. It's a really good track, and it's really showed some of the strengths of the next gen car. But this is a race where we could see a wild card winner here. We could see a dark horse guy. We could see a Hocevar getting victory lane. We could see an Eric Jones, a John Hunter Nemechek. We could see one of those guys getting victory lane. I genuinely believe that. Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Ford has won. I think it's 9 of the last 10 races here at Michigan. Ford has won 9 of the last 10 races here. The outlier being last year, Tyler Reddick winning in a Toyota, 2311 Toyota. But it's been a Ford playground, really, really interesting track and how it's suited the next gen. Not much tire wear. You can take two, you can stay out, you can be aggressive, you can take four and pass. Just a lot of different ways to attack Michigan. And I think that has to go in to your betting strategy on how you approach Michigan. So with that, I'm going to start right off the bat with two underdog guys. Honestly, at this point, I don't really know how much of an underdog one of these drivers truly is. But I would like this guy as top Chevrolet, top five, top 10. And I think this is the guy that can upset at his home track and win in front of his home fans. I'm not a big fan of this guy. I feel like you know who I'm about to say. I am not, and I'm just at the same time getting the latest odds up via DraftKings. Yeah, look, I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I think he has a lot to learn, but the kid is fast and he's shown flashes. He's coming off a second place finish. He is Carson Hocevar at 20 to 1. He has been exceptional, exceptional at the mile-and-a-half tracks. One of the top cars in the past few weeks and really throughout the duration of this season. At the high um, speed, intermediate style tracks. And this track translates perfectly into his driving style. Take the pedal, put it all the way down on the floor. You're not going to lift much. You're going to go really high speeds, utilize the draft, find different unique ways to run. Carson Hocevar, this is right in this guy's wheelhouse. You have to be aggressive. You have to take the pass when it's available to you. He's going to pass a lot of cars. He might qualify on the pole. I would like that bet. Carson Hocevar on the pole. He's probably going to be one of the top 3 to 5 guys to meaning like he's going to qualify in the 3 to 5 last guys to go out. So he's gonna have a really good chance to get the pole. He got it at Texas. So to me, this screams Carson Hocevar. I don't love the number. It's all the way down to 20 to 1 now. Um, but it's his home track. He's motivated. He's going to be running up front. He's going to qualify up front. He's going to have a fast car. This plays into his strengths. I like Carson Hocevar a lot this week. I like him a lot. And again, this is a guy that I overall, I think there's so much that needs to um, grow in his craft, if you will. But I tweeted this a week ago, and he's on the Ross Chastain path. He's on the Ross Chastain path. It's flashes, it's finishes that get better and better and better, and he leads laps, and he's up with the big dog. And at some point, he's going to break through. And why not on a track that suits him best, high speed, pedal to the floor, all out wheelman's track at Michigan in front of the home crowd. Carson Hocevar, 20 to 1. I also like his teammate for a top 10. The number right now that I'm seeing via Action Network, and I think excuse me, I think that's the only um like I guess book, if you will, that has put out top 10 odds because I can't find them on DraftKings. Let me find if I can get them on FanDuel. I'll give you the guy. It's Michael McDowell. Why McDowell, you might ask? Aggression. Aggression is the main culprit of why I will be betting on Michael McDowell. The number is 7 to 1. So plus 700 for a guy that led a good amount of laps at Texas. And I actually think the style of strategy goes well from Texas to Michigan. You can be aggressive. You can try different things. Guys are going to take four. They're going to take two. They're going to opt for track position. Micah McDowell and Travis Peterson have never been shy to get off strategy, to try something different. That's what they did at Texas. It nearly paid off to lock them into the playoffs. Michael McDowell, 7 to 1 in a Spire Motorsports car. Again, Spire now, we talk about Hostvar, talk about McDowell. These are guys that are essentially running Hendrick Motorsports engines. The speed in those cars is there. And we've seen it from McDowell. He qualified on the pole in Vegas. He led a lot of laps at Texas. Been up front at some of the mile and a halfs, had a great run at Charlotte. So overall, right, you've got a guy that can be fast, that's in a Hendrick Motorsports engine where truly like just speed, pedal down to the floor is all of what this track is about. Using the draft, which Mike McDowell, good super speedway racer, so he's familiar on how to pass, using the draft. And again, just an aggressive guy that can always look to change things on the strategy. On FanDuel, so FanDuel does have the numbers up. Mike McDowell is plus 750 for a top 10. So really good number to get Michael McDowell at Hocevar minus 155 for a top 10. So some pretty good value on a front runner, in my opinion, there as well. Okay. So we talked about the Spire Motorsports cars. I think the money line, let's just get a money line bet on our good friend, Mr. Michael McDowell, if you so choose to put a little something on him. He's plus 12,000. So, put a couple bucks on that. Maybe that hits you big. Again, he had a chance at Texas to win that race, lost in the final closing laps to Joey Logano, but he'll have the speed. And I think he'll be able to get it done for us for a top 10 plus 750. Let's look at Kyle Larson. I think you have to look at Larson. Number on FanDuel for Larson to win is plus 600. Number on DraftKings is plus 550. I saw plus 550 on Rhode Island Sportsbook. So FanDuel seems to have the best odds at this moment. But honestly, I would take it at 5 to 1. Um, great, great, great guy for this track. Ton of speed. It's won 3 times here. A top 5 machine at Michigan. Very high driver rating among active drivers, one of the highest at this track. I think only behind Denny Hamlin. At this Michigan track in the next gen era. So really, really good stuff from Larson. He was a machine at this track back in the Gen 6 car, and overall, I think when you look at a guy like Kyle Larson in that Hendrick Motorsports number 5 car, and you find him hovering around 6-1 at a high speed track, I think you just have to go attack it. Because I think that number only gets smaller and smaller. He's going to qualify easily top five, unless he spins in qualifying. That would really be the only way that he's not a top five car. A top five starting position at this track. That would be the he has to spin. That's about it. And again, like he's going to qualify probably eighth, seventh to last based on how he did last week and where he is on the points and all that good stuff. He's got a good metric score. So Kyle Larson plus 550, plus 600 on FanDuel. You take that bet. You take it now. Bubba Wallace is another guy that I'm very high on this week, 22-1. He's fourth in overall driver rating at this track. He's led a lot of laps here. He in the next gen era, that is. He's had legit chances to win at this track. I think it was the first year of the next gen car, or maybe the second year of the next gen car. He had a rocket ship and ended up losing. Oh no, it was the first year because Kevin Harvick won. Um, and ended up losing at this track. I actually think it's like Kansas and this track in Talladega that are Bubba's best three tracks. He has been exceptional in the next gen era, and really in his honestly in his career at Michigan, but most specifically with 2311 in this next gen car, heavy drafting, multiple lanes, not much tire wear, heavy throttle time, really fits nicely into Bubba's wheelhouse. And again, if we look at last year's race, Tyler Reddick was one of the top cars and ended up winning this race. He also has an average starting position of 5.7 at this track. So he's an interesting guy to look for to win the pole as well, especially when he's coming off a great result last weekend, which is going to, again, give him a good metric score. And so he'll be one of the final guys to qualify. And at this point, it's basically one of the last 5 to 7 guys that ends up winning the pole. That's just how it works at this point in qualifying. So Bubba Wallace, again, a possible pole bet for Bubba as well, with an average starting position of 5.7 and a guy that is fourth in overall driver rating at this very track. Bubba Wallace, 22-1. Kyle Busch is another name that I want to look at for a couple different reasons. First off, top 10. And then I think you can take it a step further and give him the top five. So the top, let's look here. Top five up to date line, we'll check it on FanDuel, is plus 310. Top 10 line for Kyle Busch is minus 120, so nearly even odds. Coming off a solid day, I think he finished 12th last week at Nashville. And let's see, do we have top five? We do not have top five for DraftKings. So anyway, again, it's going to be right around the even money for a Kyle Busch top 10. Um, Coming off a top five last year, essentially, when you look at the numbers for Kyle Busch at Michigan, when he does not DNF, he finishes in the top 10. Since 2017, he's finished top 10 here in every single race that he has not DNF'd. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 1, not in 2, not in 3. In 4 last year, he was top 5. So just top 10, top 10, top 5, just like constantly giving out good finishes here. And again, it's just a track that it seems like in the next, obviously, a lot of those were with Joe Gibbs Racing, but if you look at something that RCR has really excelled at with Kyle Busch being here, it's utilizing the draft. He's been very good at Atlanta, very good at Talladega, very good at Daytona. He won at Talladega in the next gen cars first year with RCR, right? So he knows in that car it handles well in the draft. It's just something that the RCR engines seem to um, I don't know, just work for him in the way he sets up his car. That's where he's shown strength. He led laps here last year. He was out front. He was battling for the lead, mostly for honestly a good majority of that race. He was up in the top 10, top 5 in a leading lap. So I think Kyle Busch, this is the track last year where Kyle Busch made essentially a monumental run to try to get into the playoffs. This is so Michigan last year. I want to get it for you guys if this loads for me. It doesn't look like it's going to load. So is this going to load? Here we go. Okay. So, Michigan, he goes to Richmond where his teammate wins, and then where he finishes 12th. Um, Actually, I'll take it a step farther. So Iowa 35th, New Hampshire 35th, Nashville 27th, Chicago he finished ninth. Then he goes to Pocono 32nd, Indianapolis 25. Then he gets a couple weeks off. Okay, that was for the Olympic break. He goes Richmond 12th, his teammate wins. Then he goes fourth at Michigan, second Daytona, second at Darlington, loses in a tight battle with Chase Briscoe, then goes seventh in Atlanta, goes on a huge, huge run late in that season, and it started at this track. He had a great car. He had a great run at this track at Michigan last year. And again, a guy that has doesn't have a ton of wins. He only has one win in his career at Michigan, but a ton of great finishes over the years at this track. He just knows how to run it well. It suits his driving style. He can be aggressive. He can run different lines. He doesn't have to worry about tire wear. It's really a driver's track, a wheelman's track, and Kyle Busch fits so perfectly into that category. So I am high on Kyle Busch, top five, top 10. Those are the guys I like. I also like Ryan Blaney a lot. I think he's going to be very fast no matter what it takes here, whether that's a short run, whether that's a long run. I honestly, I just feel like Blaney is on a different level. He's on that Larson level, but just has that extra oomph on the long run. So Blaney is obviously going to be a big contender here. He's floating around the 6 to 7 to 1. So I don't hate that bet. I would give that out right now. Obviously, he's going to be the winner, so he's going to qualify well. So that number might shift a little bit, unless again he slips up, and then maybe you take a little additional value on him later. But I think overall, Blaney is a guy that he's won here, obviously at Michigan, and he's going to be a tough guy to beat at this track overall. So he's the other guy that I would target. So with that, I've got Blaney. I've got both those Spire guys. Prop them up. I definitely would take Carson Hocevar for the money line. Kyle Larson plus 550, Bubba Wallace 22 to 1, and then propping up Kyle Busch top five, top 10 as well. But always, 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 the final card is on Johnny on the Track on Action Network. It's on at JOTT_podcast on X. That's where you can find it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at JOTT_podcast on X. Shoot me a DM if you have anything that you want answered. You can do it that way. You can leave it in the comment section below on this video. You can hit subscribe if you're a first-time viewer and you want to see more motorsports betting content and motorsports content in general. We do that good stuff as well. What else? It seems to be that's about it. Maybe give this video a like. That always helps the channel, helps that video grow and get out to new audiences. So that helps as well. But other than that, the only thing left I have to say is let's go win some money. We'll see you next time.